In the past, I've made a lot of videos talking about tanks that should be added to War Thunder. To switch things up a bit, this time we'll be talking about vehicles that shouldn't be added, either because they're too powerful, not powerful enough, or just too complex. This video is actually a bit of a collaboration. If you want to hear about planes that shouldn't be added, go to theScottishKoala's channel. His video will be going up sometime soon. I do want to say that not all of these are hard no's. Some could be added at some point in the future, but War Thunder's balancing situation needs to be cleaned up first. Before we get into it, I want to talk about my sponsor. I have a partnership with Apex Gaming. They make pre-built PCs. If you're looking to upgrade, you should check them out. Link is in the description and comments. Now on to the video. First is the M1CATTB, an American MBT testbed. You might be thinking, hey, didn't you suggest this before? And yeah, you're right, but I've changed my mind. You see, it was built in the early 90s, as a way to see what the M1A2's replacement could look like. It was an M1A1 modified to have an autoloader, 140mm gun, hydropneumatic suspension, laser warning, radar warning, new electronics, and a lot more armor. Over a meter on the turret face. And for some strange reason, it has an insane amount of smoke grenades. If you thought the Leopard 2 was excessive with 16, the CATTB has 64 individual smoke grenade launchers. A lot of other nations had similar concepts, which brings me to a point. The CATTB could be added, but only if other nations got equivalent tanks. However, that's so far off that there's no point talking about it. Top tier is an absolute mess as it is. That needs to be sorted out first. And before they do add them, they should be the focus of an April Fool's event. The next one will make a lot of people mad, but it has to be said. The Stern Tiger would not be a good addition to the game. I've seen people try to frame it like a German AVRE, but it's not even comparable. The shell is 125 kilograms of explosive mass. That's the same as a 250 kilogram bomb. You would essentially be hitting tanks with those directly. The reload rate is also abysmal, taking multiple minutes to load a single round. Personally, I just don't see it being fun to play or fight against. It's very overweight and takes minutes to fire, but can also kill several vehicles in one shot, and without line of sight. The armor is also relatively thick, so that would make balancing it even more complicated. Honestly, if you want the Stern Tiger, just play the Broombar. They're very similar vehicles, but the Broombar is actually balanced. Before I upset even more of you guys, let's talk about a few I hope everyone can agree on. First, the Sherman Zippo, or really any flamethrower tank. To be honest, what Gaijin can do with War Thunder's engine is pretty impressive, but I would be shocked if they could make flamethrowers work. Even ignoring that, they just wouldn't be fun to fight. I don't think getting hit by one would be a death sentence, but it would definitely destroy your engine, and deplete your FPE too. Of course, they would absolutely destroy open-top tanks. The flame tanks themselves vary wildly in usefulness. Some tanks only have the flamethrower, so they would only be useful in extreme CQC. For tanks that have both a flamethrower and a main gun, they're just a straight upgrade to the regular version. Thankfully, I haven't seen too many people asking for these, but they're an all-around awful idea. Second, the Bob Semple tank. I know most people just say it as a joke, not that it isn't beating a dead horse at this point, but some genuinely want to see this in game. For the sake of brevity, I think we can lump most World War I tanks in here too. To be clear, the Bob Semple would be completely useless, and a waste of development time. It only has rifle caliber machine guns, no armor, and abysmal mobility. Sure, you might kill a truck every 5 games or so, but otherwise you're dead weight to your team. I get the whole it's bad therefore it's funny and I want it shtick, but there are other tractor-derived tanks that actually be somewhat useful, and even saw combat. In the final vehicle, even though it pains me to say it, the XM800T, an American recon vehicle from the Cold War. The XM800T is one of my favorite vehicles. It meets the 3 main criteria: small, fast, and looks cool. But even I have to admit it would be bad for the game. It would essentially be a tracked R3T20. It would also have a full stabilizer and APDS to boot. It could go 55 miles per hour, or 88 kilometers per hour. It also had a power to weight ratio of 32. It may have had thermals, I can't really tell. It just says day/night sight. Unlike the R3T20, it wouldn't have to reload from ammo boxes often. It looks like all the ammo is already linked. If that weren't enough, it can also swim. So what you have is a small autocannon tank that has a high top speed, accelerates very quickly, is fully stabilized, can probably turn on a dime, and could likely fire indefinitely. It would certainly be fun to play, but I think it'd be too difficult to balance. The RCV is already proving too difficult for Gaijin. The XM800 would be even worse. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.